And then profit taking will come, and you'll get the hydraulic effect going into a smaller tube of XRP.
It moves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To be able to work with Ripple is going to be a key competitive edge.
Right? Once you actually acknowledge that Bitcoin is appreciating more than the S&P forever, and
I want to ask the question, what happens with all the currency that is in the bank?
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags, and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock news. Shout out to the latest up. We got XRP currently right around $2.97, $2.98. We got one from Ripple, Customer Spotlight. BDAX Korea, one of our 4 licensed crypto custodians in South Korea, is delivering secure institutional access to XRP, RLUSD, and other tokenized assets with Ripple custody.
Digital assets are global. It moves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To be able to work with Ripple is going to be a key competitive edge for BDAX. BDAX is at the center of this transformative landscape to providing the best-in-class user experience as institutions are being first introduced to digital assets in Korea.
Speaking of Korea, XAIF, Korean's top exchange dominated by XRP, 818 million volume in 24 hours, nearly half of the total, 1.9 billion. Digital asset investor, when you hear anyone telling you that any investment is going up forever, run. Don't walk.
so what we discovered is Bitcoin is digital capital. Bitcoin is going up faster than the S&P forever, right? Once you actually acknowledge that Bitcoin is appreciating more than the S&P forever, and my forecast is it appreciates about 29% a year for the next 21 years, and I've shared that with the community. But you could have any forecast, but if Bitcoin is an asset and it's appreciating, then you can create credit collateralized by that appreciating asset. So Bitcoin's digital capital appreciating faster than the cost of capital. The cost of capital is the S&P 500 return. And then credit written against it or issued against it is digital credit. And the digital credit can have longer duration or it can have short duration. It can have higher yields. It can be in any currency, because Bitcoin is a stronger currency, right? One of the keys in the credit market is if you're going to issue a credit instrument in a currency, you want it to be weaker than the collateral you hold. So if you issue the credit in a currency which is stronger than the currency you hold, you'll be upside down and you'll go bankrupt.
Meanwhile, crypto base, they're running out of XRP. Coinbase XRP holders dropped to 32 million with only 2 cold wallets left. Number of Coinbase XRP cold wallets has continued to shrink over the past few days, recently dropping to just 2. Coinbase emptied 2 of the 4 wallets over the past 2 days. Specifically, Cold 124 moved 16.483 million XRP to Coinbase 10. Supply on exchanges keep shrinking while demand and utility rise. Know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why. They want you out. Wall Street giants are quietly stacking XRP, Jim Willie says.
What I care is it's a gatekeeper for bringing money into our entire ocean ecosystem. Let them bring it in. Let Bitcoin go up 50% in the next several months. And then profit taking will come, and you'll get the hydraulic effect going into a smaller tube of XRP.
Yeah.
From Bitcoin to XRP, from Ethereum to XRP, it's going to be a hydraulic effect. And those who don't understand, if you go from a 2-inch tube, of hydraulic fluid, and you go into, let's call it a 3-inch tube going into a 1-inch tube, a 1/3. From a 3-inch tube to a 1-inch tube, you get a 9-fold increase in the power.
Yeah.
That's the hydraulics. It works to the square because you're dealing with the cross section and the area is proportional to the square of the radius. This is going to be exciting for the hydraulics, and there are further hydraulics from the exchange traded funds that are planned. Okay, I have my own little phrase and my own concept of what's going on.
Professor Ripple Effect on March 16, 2015 at 1:30 p.m. California State Capitol Room 444. Cheryl Brown questioned the financial viability of Bitcoin. Chris Larson, response.
I think I want to ask the question, what happens with all the currency that is in the bank? What happens with all of that?
Yeah, so kind of our view is that nothing changes there. So that really all this is doing is probably mostly enabling banks themselves to move their existing dollars, euro, whatever currency they're currently using faster, at lower cost, without as much capital, and at more competitive rates. So it very well might be that most consumers never know they're using this technology, no more than they know they're using some of the backbone of the internet that is there, but they don't have to know about it. They just know that suddenly now I can send $20 to my family in India at practically no cost in 5 seconds at a much better exchange rate than I ever would have gotten. So the banks actually would have new services. The consumer is just happy they're getting a better deal.
So the Bitcoin isn't for a consumer to use?
Yeah, there's a lot of debate around that. I mean, you could certainly, if people want to use that as a store of value, certainly can. I think just like the internet allows you to communicate in any language, I think the internet of value will allow you to trade value in anything of value.
The falling of Bitcoin dominance and transition to high quality alt season XRP just happens to coincide with the rise of alts, ETFs.
Trend exhaustion signals in the Bitcoin chart and fundamental deterioration as well. But I think that's a function more of the transition into higher beta crypto through ETH primarily.
So the falling of Bitcoin dominance, which is typical of this point in the cycle anyway, right?
Yes, yeah. And that transition really started second quarter, but it was very clear by sort of July when I was on paternity leave that transition had occurred because I looked at the on-chain data on Bitcoin, the ETF flows between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and obviously the price action. And it very much lines up with, that transition period in the crypto market from Bitcoin dominance to high quality alts, not a dash for trash sort of market that we saw in 2021 when people were getting stimulus checks, but a high quality alt season run at the moment. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Flare Networks, bridging in step 1, unlocking real yield and utility in step 2. Flare Networks Firelight brought both to XRP.
Once you have the asset on the other side, you need to unlock economic utility to produce yield. That's what we do, right? That's why we have built an entire platform. So when you bring the two together, right, it creates real utility. You have best-in-class interoperability, XRP to Flare, interoperability, security, with real economic yield-generating use cases on the other side. We have seen, including some of the examples that I named before, many attempts that solve the first leg, right, and use stake and whatever, and there's nobody consuming that. And then many fantastical use cases of unlocking DeFi for XRP and all that don't have the interoperability robustness to make it work. So without the two pillars, it just doesn't work.
Mustache altcoins Total 2 has broken the strongest resistance after 4 years and it's turned it into support. What more could you wish for? This is incredibly bullish for your bags. Whenever I see people saying that the top is in, look at this chart. The upside potential on alts is monumental. You have no idea what's coming. It's very clear altcoins are going to go up in the coming period. However, during these periods, you can have corrections. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin dominance have a slight bounce upwards before we're going to have the next leg up. We ain't seen nothing yet, and the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing. On that XRP rich list, top 10% holder, 2,372 XRP. As we get closer to full mainstream adoption and that regulation jar bursting open, and XRP's true price finally being revealed.
Big bags.
We'll catch you up here on the mothership. BYOB, bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
love. Stack them bags up and simple and wait until we explode. I'll meet you at the disco. We just getting started like an intro. 589 the numbers, please, please call our bingo. We the new heroes, the